I've got over 500 fragrances. At this point, it's probably way more. I haven't counted in a long time. And I'm just mentioning that to say, out of all the ones that I have, there's a handful that I would say are just powerful. Either because they will fill a room and run you out of there, or because you spray them on and 12, 14, 16 hours later, they are still stuck to your skin. This is the kind of fragrance that I'm going to show you today that out of my whole collection, these are in the top 5% probably of strength, longevity, projection, sillage. These are going to be some powerful fragrances. I've got 10 of them. I've got 5 originals. I've got 5 clones, which means I'm running the gamut of prices and options for you. So we're going to dive into this video, but before we do, remember to subscribe and spray the like button with the strongest fragrance in your collection if you like the video. Let's begin. All right, so first up, we'll go with a designer. And this is one that is not quite a clone, but it's kind of a twist from a designer brand that actually mimics a couple of other fragrances. I'm talking about Friday Edition from El Ganzo. I love this fragrance. It is actually kind of a combo of 2 of my favorite fragrances, which would be Dolce & Gabbana The One and La Nuit de l'Homme from YSL. It's probably 80% The One and kind of the top 20% like La Nuit de l'Homme. A lot of people complain about performance with Dolce & Gabbana The One, although I think it performs fine typically. But this one is like a 10-hour version of The One with a little bit of a different kind of a sweet cardamom at the top that will remind you of La Nuit de l'Homme. Very good stuff, very long lasting, very high quality considering this is an inexpensive fragrance. Again, El Ganzo's Friday Edition. Next up, we'll go with another designer. We'll go ahead and knock out the designers first. This one is actually a 2-year-old fragrance, one of my favorite releases from 2023. I'm talking about this one from Boss Bottled Elixir. Nuclear Strong. It is incredible. It is a dark, woody, spicy, incensey fragrance. There's been some comparisons made to Sauvage Elixir, and I can definitely get behind that. I would just say that it's a little more on the incense and sort of warm spiciness, whereas I would say the Dior would go a little more in the aromatics and the fresh, spicy kind of elements. But if you like dark fragrances, incensey fragrances that still have a good bit of sweetness and a good bit of spice, this stuff is incredible. It's unique and it is powerful. 10 to 12 hours. I mean, I've not done testing beyond that because who needs to? It is strong and it smells so good. Definitely a fall winter kind of a fragrance if you couldn't tell by the description. But another designer that is not a fall winter fragrance that I still get monstrous performance out of, I'm talking about this one right here, Dolce & Gabbana Light Blue Forever. This stuff is, of course, one of the core light blue fragrances, a whole line from Dolce & Gabbana that people love for the summer. But this one has a unique element in that it's got this very realistic kind of rindy grapefruit in the top. Other than that, it's like 80% similar to the other light blue fragrances. First time I ever smelled it in the store, I thought, I've got to get this. The most realistic grapefruit note in any fragrance I've ever smelled, and it's a designer at designer prices, but it just lasts forever. It's a 10-hour fragrance, even in the heat of a sweaty summer day, and I've got a lot of good memories with this fragrance. Really good stuff. Light blue forever, but you've got to be okay with that sharp, realistic grapefruit note. And some people, it doesn't work on their skin. They say it turns real sour or reminds them of BO or something like that. I get none of that. To me, it's just very pleasant, wonderful citrus fragrance that lasts forever, like it says on the bottle. Another one that I would say is geared towards cooler weather, but it works actually great in the spring because there's a real floral element to this fragrance. I'm talking about Jupe Homme Les Parfums. So this is kind of a vanilla and caramel or praline kind of sweet gourmand fragrance, but it's got this powerful iris note. And to my nose, it's not so much that makeup bag style of iris. It's more of like that fruity floral kind of an iris, sort of like you get in the Le Beau Le Parfum, or even something like Dunhill Icon. And so you get this iris that gives it this very distinctive kind of sweet, fruity, floral kind of a vibe. And this is one, again, that will last easily 10 hours on your skin. Very inexpensive as well, and it's a true parfum concentration with a dense, oil richness. So anyway, good stuff right here. Jupe Le Parfum, but you've got to be able to handle a sweet fragrance that's got quite a floral punch. All right, next up, this is one that is almost a year-round fragrance for me. It does have a decent bit of sweetness, so the hottest of a summer day, it probably wouldn't work, but I love it. I have worn so much of this bottle, and I've worn it in the spring, I've worn it in the summer, and it definitely shines in the fall and winter. I'm talking about this one right here from Azzaro. This is the Most Wanted Parfum. This is a sparkly ginger and bourbon vanilla and what Azzaro calls incandescent woods. Some people say the opening of this fragrance reminds them of like a fizzy grape soda, and I do know what people are referring to. That ginger gives an almost effervescent kind of sparkliness. There is some sort of a fruit mixed with that in the opening, but Azzaro doesn't tell you what it is. But if you like vanilla and you want something that's got a good bit of cleanness, there's a big portion of this fragrance that kind of smells like fabric softener. It's like ginger, vanilla, fabric softener is a big part of what this fragrance smells like. Very clean, also quite sweet with a good bit of vanilla, and it is a 12-hour fragrance, 10 to 12-hour fragrance. Awesome stuff. The Most Wanted Parfum. And just as sort of a bonus, this would actually make the video 11 fragrances by the time we finish. There's a really good dupe of that fragrance from Fragbar. It's this one right here, the Most Wanted. It's actually an Extrait de Parfum dupe of the Most Wanted Parfum. And it is like, I would say 85 to 90% similar. The biggest difference is in the dry down. In the opening, in the mid, it's pretty much identical. But in the dry down, the fabric softener-esque part of this fragrance is more prominent than it is in the original. The original, I would say, in the dry down, the vanilla remains a little more prominent. In this one, they sort of switch places. The fabric softener cleanness comes up a little, the vanilla goes down a little, but still very, very close and very inexpensive. With my discount code down below, I think you can get one of these bottles, which I kind of like this little 30 ml. Smells so good. And you can get this for, I believe, less than $25 from Fragbar. They got a great selection over there and great quality. So use my discount code, pick up a bunch of stuff. Next, we're going to go into some clones. And man, this is a nuclear strong list. I'm going to go first with this one right here. Brand new fragrance, and I am loving this stuff. This is from Lattafa Pride, Art of Universe. And this one is apparently an alternative to Ex Nihilo's Blue Talisman, a fragrance I've actually never smelled. But this one is going to be a citrus amber fresh spicy fragrance, kind of a woody amber base with powerful sweet citrus and a lot of fresh spiciness. There's, I think, some mint and some other aromatic kind of herbal fresh spiciness with that. There is a good bit of sweetness. There's some pear with that citrus in the opening, but it's not overly sweet. It's just as much citrus as it is sweetness, and it's just as much amber as it is fruitiness. And to me, that's what makes it so unique. I don't have a lot of ambery fragrances that are freshies. Most of them are more dense, dark, sweet, spicy amber. This one is fresh, spicy, citrus, fruity amber, and it works great in the heat, and it lasts forever. This stuff stays on my skin even after a shower. It's easily over 12-hour performance, and I have really, really enjoyed this one, and I will wear this a lot in the coming months, the rest of the spring and on into the summer. The next one is nuclear strong flanker to an already nuclear strong fragrance. This one's from the House of DUMONT. It is Nitro Red Intensely. And oh my goodness, this stuff took that nitro red DNA and just ramped it up to 1,000. It's still got that fruitiness with a little bit of the watermelon from the original, but to me, there's an addition of a couple notes that do change it significantly. This one's got a peach note that changes the fruitiness a little bit. It's got a sea salt note. It's got maybe even more of kind of the dry amber woods that the original had that reminds you of BR 540. And to my nose, it's got a little bit less of the Invictus nature that the original one had. Altogether though, it is a dense, rich, sweet, powerful, very long-lasting take on the Nitro Red DNA. This is my favorite of the two now, and I would recommend it, but if you already have the original, there is going to be a significant amount of redundancy in buying this one as well. The next one is a really good alternative to YSL Baby Cat. This is Arabiette Prestige Niel Queen. This is a almost too strong fragrance. You've got in this one this wonderful sweet gourmand vanilla, but then you've also got this very dry cedar woodiness and a very powerful smoky leather. And so it's really, that's what it is. Dry cedar woods, powerful leather and smoke with a wonderful sweet vanilla. If I spray 2 sprays of this in the same spot on my body, it becomes almost bitter. It's that strong, or pungent maybe is a better word. But if I spray like 1 spray on this arm, 1 spray on this arm, 1 on the back of the neck, then I am set for 10 hours and I'm smelling the fragrance cloud most of the time that I wear it. Very strong, very long lasting, very good quality as well. I know Uncle Chris over at Best Brands Parfum, great channel with a lot of great recommendations for dupes. He says this is the very best baby cat alternative, and that very well may be true. All right, this next one, I'm telling you, strong stuff, very long lasting, potent, and probably one that you could go nose blind to, because whenever I first got this, I didn't understand why everyone said it was so powerful. A week or 2 in though, I realized like, oh my gosh, this stuff lasts forever and it fills a room with 3 sprays. I'm talking about Swiss Arabian, who does make a lot of strong fragrances. This is Shagaf Oud Tonka, and this is a BDK Velvet Tonka alternative. It's basically vanilla, tonka bean, and powdery almond. I think there might be a little bit of citrus in there as well. There's some cinnamon and some spiciness, but it is like a baked goods gourmand vanilla tonka bean, you know, powdery sweet fragrance that almost reminds you of like a pastry, and it just lasts and lasts and lasts. Smells very good. Definitely for me is more of a winter and fall fragrance, but I do still wear it in the evening sometimes now that it's been warming up. Shagaf Oud Tonka. Finally, number 10, technically number 11. This stuff right here, this from Fragrance World, is an excellent alternative to Initio's Side Effect. This is Intro Aftermath, and I love this fragrance. It is a spicy, mysterious cinnamon and rum and vanilla, and there's some resins in this fragrance. There's kind of a woody saffron thing that will remind you a little bit of Initio Oud for Greatness, the one that got kind of the initial wave of hype in this line. And wow, it is so good. But you've got to like sweet and spicy fragrances. There is a little bit of a kind of herbal spicy note in here that in some dupes of this same fragrance, it can turn kind of off-putting. To me though, this one, out of the ones that I've tried, dupes of this same fragrance, it is the most palatable. There's nothing challenging or off-putting to me. It just works really well with my body chemistry, and I bet you I've probably used 1/4 of this bottle. Again, Fragrance World's Intro Aftermath. And so that has been 10 plus 1 of these powerful fragrances. There's another, again, probably 30, 40 that I could put in a video like this. but without question, these are in the top 5 or 10% for strength in my collection. Let me know down below, what are 3 of your strongest fragrances? Even better if they're strong and inexpensive. Drop a link if it's something that you think I might not have yet, and there's a good chance I'll pick it up or at least check it out. Remember to subscribe to the channel if you haven't done that, and spray your strongest fragrance on the like button if you like the video. I'm Justin. This is Sillage Scents.